questions. Because one of the things that we're trying to do at the University of Cincinnati, especially with the police department, is be more involved in our community and understand and listen to what the issues are from the community perspective and make sure that we're being responsible in the work that we're doing. So I have my partner here as Gregory Baker, and we also have handouts for you for anyone who did get one. They're up here and we can pass them back. On the handouts you'll notice that there are a couple of other individuals who are named, and so I'll just mention to you that we do have Director of Public Safety, Jim Whalen, who's the former Assistant Chief from the Cincinnati Police Department, and we stole him and brought him into our team. Of course, Mr. Baker, we've worked together for years, a long time, on and off, with violence reduction efforts in the city, with the reform that was taking place in the Cincinnati Police Department, the collaborative agreement, of course, Mr. Baker's worked on for so many years. And so gosh, it's been a long time, right?
Well, this is actually my boss. Robin is the Vice President of the Office of Safety and Reform, and both I and Jim Whalen, as the directors, report directly to her. So when she got in trouble, she reached out to us and said, hey, let me get some help. And then we brought our friends along. So exactly. I think we've got the team well poised.
That's right. And we've recently had 6.5 months ago, Tony Carter joined us as the Chief of Police of the UC Police Department. He was also formerly he was the Chief of the Federal Reserve Bank downtown, but also a former Cincinnati Police Lieutenant. So we have a new team. Of course, Maris Harold, who is our Assistant Chief, long-time captain with the Cincinnati Police Department. She was in command of District 4, which surrounds the university rather, and she's joined us as well. So we do have a new team, lots of new players up at the university. For my position, I'm formerly a professor in the School of Criminal Justice. And my area of expertise is police race relations, police reform, and violence reduction. And so I've been working with police departments across the country, and for that matter around the world, on these issues. And when the University of Cincinnati Police Department did find that they were in the middle of some controversial work and practices that were going on with the police department, they reached out to me as a professor there and created the position for vice president. And now, as Mr. Baker said, I actually do have line authority over the public safety department. That was not always the case. When I first came in and took that vice president position, I was responsible for the reform efforts, but I sat outside of the Department of Public Safety and was really seen more as kind of a monitor to make sure that they were engaging in best practices and moving the reform along. In March of 2016, that changed, and I actually took line authority over the police department. And as a result of that, one of the reform efforts that we'll be talking about is the hiring of an external monitor to make sure that I'm now doing my job, and that Mr. Baker is doing his job, and the others. So, and we'll talk about that external monitor in just a moment.
But if you kind of look at some of the thinking behind Dr. Engel's very intelligent decision of hiring us was, the experience that we brought coming through the collaborative agreement, the agreement with the Department of Justice back in the early 2000s with the Cincinnati Police Department. So as you view this presentation, you'll see some real parallels, and those are intentional, that we are following that process that's tried and true and has now been copied across the nation. But there's one distinct difference between what UC is doing and what happened with the Cincinnati Police Department. I bet you all know. The first couple of years with the police department, it was deny and resist, where this is a voluntary effort. This is an effort that the university aggressively pursued and is voluntarily paying, not at a small cost either, to reform the police department. So there are parallels with that one distinction.
Yes, and with that voluntary police reform effort, I can tell you that we will become a model for this country. Normally what we see when we see Department of Justice come into a police department, there are reports that are done, and then perhaps a consent decree, federal monitoring, oversight by a federal court, for instance. None of that has happened here, and one of the reasons is because we've been so aggressive independently moving forward for police reform, and as a result we are a model for voluntary police reform. We've had other police departments across the country come here to see what we're doing so that they can institute it back in their agencies as well. So I'm very proud of the work already, although please recognize we have much to do. But the process is in place, and we're working very quickly to get us moving in the right direction, and I think we've already seen some benefits of that. So with that, I'll just give you the overview of the Department of Public Safety. So at UC, everyone knows and thinks about UCPD, but the Department of Public Safety is actually broader than just UCPD. We have primary sections, of course, are the police, but we also have fire safety, security systems, we have a 911 communication and dispatch, and then we also have our emergency management and planning. So all of public safety in total, that's about 140 employees at the university, but the police department specifically, UCPD, has 74 sworn officers. That's our allotment, that's how many we are allowed. We have 6 positions that we're looking to fill at this time. So we have 68 current full-time employees. 3?
Number 3. The third largest police agency in Hamilton County.
Right, I'm like,
behind Cincinnati and the sheriff.
I thought you were going to say we only have 3 positions left. I'm like, when did you hire without telling me? So good to know that that's not happening without my knowledge.
Your 9/11 Communication Center, you have something separate from the countywide?
We do have our own communication center, but they are connected in with the county as well. So on campus, non-emergency folks can call there. There's also the emergency number that might get routed there, and we work collaboratively with the others. So let's talk about UCPD here just for a moment. As I mentioned, 74 police officers in our complement. We do have 2 canine officers. Those canine officers are trained in explosives. They're not trained, they're not drug dogs, and they're not patrol dogs. Why is that important on a college campus? Anyone? Any ideas how busy we would be if we had dogs that were trained in narcotics? Right. So we don't want that much work. So we do have the 2 explosive dogs. We have 26 security officers. Our security officers are non-sworn officers. They're actually, if I go back to this slide, you can see they're actually uniformed differently. They're in the blue uniforms. They do not carry firearms. The gray uniforms are sworn officers, and they do carry firearms. We patrol via foot, Segway, motor vehicle, bicycle, and motorcycle. We have routine patrols on our UC campus property, and that includes, of course, our branch campuses as well, Claremont and Blue Ash campuses, and also in the neighborhoods surrounding the Uptown campus. We have full jurisdiction on any property that we own and operate those buildings. But we also have limited jurisdiction in the areas that surround our property, and that limited jurisdiction is through what everyone has heard about, that MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding with the City of Cincinnati. We do still patrol in these areas. Patrol here means visibility patrol, so we are out and responding, but we are not making traffic stops. So any type of very proactive or pedestrian stops as well, vehicular stops are not being made by the UCPD at this time pursuant to the order with City Council. And we'll talk about that in just a moment too. Finally, we have a contract with the Cincinnati Police Department where we pay for additional patrols in the areas surrounding our campus. And actually, we spend close to $1 million a year funding the Cincinnati Police Department to provide for additional security in the areas and the neighborhoods around campus. And we've done this for now 3 to 4 years at least, and I think probably longer than that. Yeah, I think so. 4 or 5 years probably at this point. And we also have what we call the UC ambassadors. Those ambassadors, you might be familiar with downtown, the block by block. It's folks that are the ambassadors downtown. You're not familiar? Fountain Square and around, and they pick up trash and litter and debris and those kinds of things, and they're like, well, exactly.
That's been going on a while, hasn't it? The ambassador program?
Yes, and so we
copy that.
Exactly. We have that same company that works with the folks up at UC. They're dressed differently because they're branded in red, so they wear red up and around UC, but they also provide that additional safety layer in the areas surrounding campus. So when we talk about the areas surrounding campus, so we're going to speak primarily about the Uptown campus, because that's, of course, that's where most of the concern and controversy has been, but keep in mind, of course, we do have the Blue Ash and Claremont County campuses as well. But this red here, this is our primary space up here this is on campus, and this is the East Campus, right? So the medical facilities are over here. This black line around here represents the area where we have high visibility patrols. In the middle here, this is where you will see our officers. You may also see our officers coming to and from other UC-owned properties. So you may see them in and around the city, and that's because they're going back and forth to our property. Now, why this area here? Why is this important for us to continue patrolling? This slide here just shows you the concentrations of students that reside in these neighborhoods. And we estimate anywhere from 13 to 15,000 students living in this roughly half-mile to mile radius from the campus. And these stars here indicate on-campus housing and also what's considered on-campus housing that's actually technically off-campus, that's owned by the university. So we are responsible for students and making sure that they have safe passage back and forth, but we're also responsible for our neighborhood and community residents who are living in this area with folks that are of a younger demographic, tend to have loud parties sometimes, they may drink too much, and cause some disorder, minor disorder in the neighborhoods. And so we're responsible for their conduct as well, making sure that we have a livable community for the rest of the residents that live there. Got anything, Greg? You want to add?
That's just very important because, this whole issue of the memorandum of agreement with the city of Cincinnati. The city of Cincinnati has to authorize the UC Police Department to actually patrol on those city streets. And the outline there describes the area that we have patrolling. And the reason being is that our students live in those areas, and there's a responsibility, obviously, between the university and its students to ensure those individuals safe.